Welcome back to B&B Studios, where Berner and Barthy will talk all things happening in the Central Coast Rugby competition. Good chat, good footy, good fun. Take it away, boys.
Thanks, Tomo. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the B&B Unplugging Central Coast Rugby podcast. If you're watching on the YouTube, you'll notice there's a scary man to your right of screen, lurking in the darkness of Gosford Showground. Before we get to him, though, Barthy, how was your week?
Yeah, good, mate. Week's been fantastic. It's been a little bit chilly to start the week. I actually got away on the weekend and spent some time in the New England Rugby District, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. But, mate, joining us, and I believe not for the first time, lurking in the darkness, we have the great man, Carl. How are you, pal?
Yeah, good, mate. I might be regretting this now. I need a still like old Gus from Erina Podiatry, I reckon.
Yeah.
Good chuck you up. So,
Well,
Carl, obviously we got you on. You very graciously sponsored the podcast this year. So, obviously, Exquisite exterior cleaning. So, and you've got a bit of a deal for the listeners and the viewers. So, take it away, mate.
Yeah, look, yeah, I just like hearing Barthy try to pronounce it every week. He's got to slow it right down. But yeah, no, look, I was just keen to obviously help out everybody in the community, offer a pretty I don't know, sort of left field trade service and house washing and roof washing and all that kind of stuff. So lots of different options. If you want to jump on the Facebook page and have a look, there's a lot of stuff going on there of what I do and what I get up to. So I was just really keen to jump on and offer all the B&B listeners 15% off for the rest of the rugby season. So if they ring me up or get me on Facebook Messenger and say, oh, look, I got you off B&B Studios, I'll hook you up with a discount there. So friends of the show discount.
How good's that? We've got a few friends of the show as well.
Yeah,
So,
good stuff.
especially those of you who are watching us on YouTube. Poor old Exquisite exterior cleaning. They're doing a little bit tough at the moment, as you can see. Poor old Carl. There we go. Poor old Carl can't afford the electricity bill to turn the lights on. So he's doing a little bit tough. So everyone needs to get in and support the business that supports the podcast. So you can see we've paid our bills. Poor old Carl's got to work in the dark. So
I'm trying to find the best lighting here up at Carry On Oval. It's a bit shady.
Yeah. We really appreciate it, Carl, as well. Obviously, jumping on board with the sponsorship, and obviously helps us out with all the gear and being able to do this, obviously virtually as well. So I really appreciate you jumping on board and helping us out, be able to grow Central Coast Rugby. So, how is it? Obviously, yourself started Gosford, went to Carryong for a couple of years, and then back down at Gosford. How's everything there? You're training up at Carryong tonight?
Yeah, we're training up at Carry On Oval because Carrington Street's still not open for us to use down in Narara there. So with the unfortunate sort of loss of the Carry On side this year, we've been able to just work something out with them and use the nice field up here and the lights and things like that. So yeah, just taking advantage of a bit of a disadvantage, I suppose, for the other club.
now, mate, as I said, I was away in the New England district last weekend. Did you play for Gosford on last week?
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Because you missed the week before. Yeah, your bloody sister or someone got married in New Zealand, or something selfish.
Yeah. I've had a few trips home this year. It's been driving the bank insane, but yeah, no, I'm back now. I don't have anywhere else to be other than trying to feed it to everybody else on the coast, I guess.
Well, I guess the reason why I raised that is mate, you went away to New Zealand. The Red Devils had a slump. They lost, and then they lost again. Goes to prove what an integral part of the club you are, pal. They can't win without you. And even when you're back, they still struggled with the nightmares of the week before.
Yeah.
What happened?
Barthy.
What happened against Avoca? That was to be honest, that was a scoreline I was a bit surprised by. I thought might have been a bit closer than that. Give us some inside scoop.
Yeah, look, it just wasn't our day. I mean, Avoca's a very well-rounded side, and yeah, mate. I mean, we started off well. I thought, the first 10 minutes were looking pretty hot, and then a couple of injuries and things like that pretty early in the first half. And yeah, look, as I say, mate, Avoca's just a well-tuned side. Obviously, Jake McPhee's got them humming pretty well there. So yeah, we just let it slip, mate, and they got the better of us. So the best part about it, I suppose, is a round 2 down at the showground. So it's not going to happen again. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, mate, and we have spoken about the very impressive start to the year the Red Devils have been having, and exactly what you say. Avoca Beach are undefeated, and they're playing some pretty bloody good rugby under Jake. Jacobs. So it's I guess it's no shame to be beaten by the best side or one of the best sides in the competition at the moment. And Gossard are building nicely.
Yeah, well, it's mate, we've actually had a bit of a build this year to it, which is nice. I think the last couple of years, Gosford have had Terrigal and Voca really early in the season, and they're quality outfits. So it was good to have a bit of a build to it, and I guess it hurt. I'm not going to lie, bloody hurt on Saturday. So just come back this week. We've got a couple of good nights training ahead of us this week, and then looking forward to giving it to the Trojans on Saturday.
Yeah, be a massive matchup this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, but I'm pretty keen to go and piss in their pool, if excuse the language.
Well, I'll be out there, Carl. So do me a favour and wait till I hop out of it before you start.
I don't know, mate. You keep giving the exquisite cleanups to everybody but Gosford. So,
well, let me tell you an exclusive here for the listeners. If the Red Devils put in another performance like they did against the Avoca Beach Sharks, the Trojans will put 70 on them and win the exquisite exterior cleanup of the week. So you heard it here first.
Yeah, I'll fuel to the fire. Thanks, Barty.
Well, before you cut the sponsorship, Carl, based on those comments, we want to thank you again for jumping on and obviously supporting the podcast. And again, listeners, 15% off for Exquisite Exterior Cleaning. So we'll post this on the socials as well. So, Carl, thank you very much for supporting the podcast, mate. And we'll add you onto the stories, and then people can get in touch that way, or just don't be lazy, people. Look up Exquisite Exterior Cleaning and give them a follow. So, again, Carl, appreciate you coming on, mate, and everything you do for us.
No worries. Thanks, boys. Love what you're doing.
Good on you, mate. Appreciate it. See you on Saturday.
See you guys.
All right, Barthy.
What a great
Erina
man,
Podiatry. Yeah, good guy. God, you can't, mate. I've told you this. When we're getting money from people, you can't be hanging shit on them like that. Right?
He's already paid up now, so he can't get it back.
No, he's a great guy, Carl. We appreciate him. Appreciate him helping out, and obviously everything is, it's probably a tough week, to be honest, to get someone on and talk about the games. Obviously, they got smacked in the weekend, and they weren't happy about it as well. And usually, it's nice if you get a good win, you can have an interview about it. But there's not much you can say when your team didn't put in a good performance, and they really got bested on the weekend. So,
that's all.
Gosford
to be fair,
awesome
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I was going to say to be fair to for a moment as a Gosford fan, that's what you want to hear from one of your players, hearing how much it hurt and he didn't enjoy the lose and it sucks, and he's already hatched plans for next time they meet Avoca. So it's exactly what you want to hear. But in the fair dinkum department, what a great human Carl is, and as we've spoken to him before, reached out and just wanted to put his hand in his pocket to support what we do, because he loves the game of rugby and somewhat loves what we do. So I think he might have put his head in a few too many scrums loving what we do, but he's a great man. And I will add too, and I can say this now because he's not here, he's a bloody good footballer too. He's the type of bloke, he does all the work that no one wants to do, and he does all the work that your average Joe who doesn't know the game well doesn't see. Do you know what I mean? He's Carl doesn't come off the field with a clean jumper. It's always puke. And he's a great man of the Central Coast. So good luck on Saturday, Carl. Even though you'll get a pantsing from the Trojans, but
we'll get to that in a sec. Mate, this is very uncharacteristic of me. My phone's on 1%, so it might be thrown to you for the results. But this is the first time it's happened, so I apologise. Let's start off.
Don't have a charger, pal.
I do, just not on me. I got to get up and
mate,
you know how this works.
House cleaning, He gives us thousands of dollars, and you can't get a charger to sort this shit
Yeah,
out.
I
Anyway,
know. I
move
probably
on.
have one around here somewhere. Anyway, first of all, not first of all, winning on the results that are around thanks to Gus and team at Erina Podiatry. Jeez, need some speech therapy as well for this week. We can go astray. We got Gus on. Gus, you there? Give us a thumbs up.
Good on you,
Your
pal.
thumbs up. Thanks, Gus. Appreciate your input, mate. All right, we'll start with Premier 1. First game, Trojans run out winners over Woi Woi 92 points to 7. Barthy, tell me about it.
Well, mate, we spoke about it last week. It depends on which Woi side showed up. And it's clearly the Woi side that showed up that got beaten by 100-odd points a couple of weeks earlier. 92 points to 7. It could have been the best Woi side that shows up. I wasn't at the game, but one thing I can tell you is that Terrigal Trojans side is absolutely humming. We know that 14 tries to 1 and scored by a variety of different players. And we spoke about on last week's podcast, one of the most impressive things about the Terrigal Trojans at this point in time is they are scoring tries all around the paddock. It's not just their outside backs or their tight five or whoever. They're not playing one style of rugby. They're playing an expansive game. They come through the centre. They attack out wide. They come through the middle as well. Made a very impressive performance, 14 tries to 1. Poor old Danks had an off day with the boot. He only kicked 11 from 14.
That's poor.
Yeah, well, we'll expect better of him on Saturday. But, mate, what an outstanding performance. Troubles at Woi Woi. Hopefully they can stick it out. But, great cracking show by the Terrigal Trojans. What a win.
Yeah, just absolutely massive. I spoke to one of the players from Woi Woi as well, and there's a couple of players that are obviously their first sort of time playing first grade and sort of getting the feel of, playing rugby, and I don't think Woi Woi's first grade is training too much. And they made the comment of it didn't feel like Terrigal's players were like freaks or anything, but just the structure that they play, that they just, if someone gets hit or something like that, just recycle and go again, just a line break and the support, and that's 7 points. And it happens in the space of 2 minutes. So just that whole thing about the structure that Terrigal play with that, they're known for as well. And they just stick to it so well. So,
and it's relentless. It's for 80 minutes.
It doesn't stop. Yeah, they just do not stop. Once they score, they go and they just go again. They just pile on the points so quick. Obviously a amazing thing that they got going there at the Trojans, have for a number of years. Second game, mate. The Razorbacks defeat Hornsby Lions 26 points to 12. What'd you make of this?
Mate, it was a little bit of the game I thought it was going to be. Hornsby are a competitive outfit. 2 tries to 4. It needed a good performance by the Razorbacks, and that's what it was to get the chocolates. And I think the Razorbacks are building. They've got a lot of new players and getting those combinations happening. Spoken about the competitive nature of the Hornsby Lions and how well they've been sort of, I guess the score lines haven't really reflected how competitive they are. But this is one that I think does. The Razorbacks are one of the titleship contenders for this year, one of the title contenders for this year. And a 26-12 scoreline is probably an indication of how well the Hornsby side have been building and how competitive they are. One thing I'll also say, and absolutely love the socials, and what a great environment they're creating down there in Hornsby from the looks of what they were posting. So it looks like a club that are doing fantastic things off the park and putting in some competitive performances on the park. But good victory by the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I actually thought the Razorbacks would win by a little bit more than this. That's what I sort of tipped last week. I thought they'd rack up a bit of a scoreline. But as you said, Hornsby are a good side. They're building, and it is hard to travel as well because usually got some sort of theme. There's a bus trip as well, and sometimes that sort of lulls you into maybe not playing as well as you should. But good win there for the Razorbacks. The next game, as we touched on before with Carl, was Avoca v Gosford. So probably the match of the round in terms of two real, two finals contenders, the only two that we have so far. And it was a real emphatic victory for Avoca, 43 points to 10. So spoke to Carl and he said Avoca obviously way too good there. And, Gosford with a couple of injuries and just didn't get off to a good start, or got off to a good start, but really couldn't do anything else after that. So what'd you make of this?
Look, I was surprised, and had a bit of fun with Carl earlier on, but I was surprised by the size of the victory to the Avoca beat Sharks. Not necessarily surprised by the fact that Sharks did so well, because they've really shown themselves to be a bloody good rugby side this year, the Sharks. I saw it a little bit more along the lines of, I think Gossett just might have had a few moments where they've missed the ball. Carl kind of alluded to it there, and it's a sign of how strong Avoca Beach are. I think last week I mentioned if they pick the right side, they will go well. They clearly are, and I think it was an outstanding victory by the Avoca Beach Sharks. Gossett have been flying, and they've just come off a real competitive game against the Razorbacks last week, and obviously wanted to put in a good showing. And I think it's an indication of how well Avoca are going, and because Gossett are absolutely no easy beats. They're a class outfit playing some really good rugby. So well done to the Avoca Beach Sharks, 7 tries to 2.
And last game, mate, the Battle of the North. Warnervale finally get the win, the big win over Lakes. Lakes have had the wood in the last few years. They've been the stronger team of the North, but it's completely turned around this year. And hats off to the Wildcats, running out winners 47 points to 24. Huge win at home, and it was a great day up there. Again, the stuff they do on the socials is awesome. The Warnervale women, which I'll give a shout out to in a second, are doing great stuff. But just the whole Warnervale community is really banding together and getting around, and the match day festivities that they had going on Saturday was just awesome to see. And obviously both teams are, getting in amongst that. But back to the result, mate, 47 points to 24. Huge win for Warnervale.
Yeah, strong performances, mate, and it's something we've come to expect from them. As you mentioned, they're doing some fantastic things off the field. Their results are obviously indicating they're doing great things on the field as well. 7 tries to 4. Lakes would have been up for this match, as you say. They've held. Oh, my mind's gone completely blank. But the cup they play for up there, Lakes have had it for a while. They would have gone in expecting and wanting to hold it and maintain it. But a great performance by the Warnervale side. Yeah, 47 points to 24. Good things are happening up there, and they are really pressing to be one of those top 3 sides. And they're on their right. They're heading in the right direction at the moment.
They are. Well, that's the men's results. Over to the women. Hornsby beat the Razorbacks 27 points to 7. Let me just double check the Razorbacks were 7. They were 24 points to 7. Sorry. So the Nalas over the Razorbacks 24 points to 7. If I can get that right for the 7th time. Nalas are back, mate. The Nalas are back.
Nalas are back. Look out, competition. Here they come. 4 tries to 1. I still think there's a little bit of rust there they're working on, but most importantly, they've had 2 wins on the trot. So well done to the Nalas. They're a class side. I had a look at their side that they field, that they put on their socials over the course of the weekend. It's a bloody quality outfit. So the quicker they can get their rhythm and their groove happening, the better it's going to be for them, and also the scarier it's going to be for the Central Coast women's competition, because they are a bloody good team and they are now on the rise. So certainly from a Razorbacks and Lakes perspective, look out, women, because here come the Nalas, and we'll touch on the Trojans and Avoca Beach being the clear outrunners at the moment.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, both of them didn't play on the weekend. Avoca with the bye and Terrigal beating Woy Woy 28-0, which is what we didn't want, because the 28-0 obviously means the forfeit from the Lionesses. So obviously that's upsetting. And I don't know the circumstances around this at all. I don't know how many players they had, but it'd be nice if, even on a day of rugby, if you got teams that are turning up with 3, 4, 5 players, if there's still a game that's played. I'm sure if the Trojans are more than happy with the depth that they've got to have a run on the weekend. And it's a good thing for the competition as well. If you've got sides that are a little bit weaker and have newer players, to be able to be on the field and play with the players that are in our stronger teams, you would learn so much from that experience. And obviously the feeling around the game and how it's being played there's going to be a lot of camaraderie around it. It's not going to be something. It's a really feisty game and a real battle. And I think a lot of the girls would benefit a lot from that. So, disappointing with the forfeit, but I really hope if there are forfeits in the future, which obviously we do not want, but if they do happen, because we have had a couple this year, there's still games played. And even if there's 5 players from the team that's forfeiting, they're still played in some capacity. Obviously not what we want, but you still want to have a game of rugby. I think that's really important to have that.
Well, absolutely, mate. It's what are we, round 6?
Yeah, that was round 6. Yeah,
and the Warrior women have forfeited 2 matches already. and they haven't played every week either.
Mm.
I don't know the circumstances behind it, and I'm not going to make any judgments, but certainly it was disappointing to hear that they pulled out on the day, on the morning at least. But yeah, I'm 100% with you. If they've only got 5 or 6 women, get them up there to have a game, mix the numbers up. And exactly, I really want to echo your thoughts there, Berner, is imagine how much those women, those 5 or 6 women who are available to play, imagine how much they're going to learn and develop playing with and against the best women in the competition in the Terrigal or the Avoca Beach side. But certainly Terrigal Trojans are the best side in the competition ladder-wise. Imagine the opportunity for these girls to really learn from that. So opportunity wasted, I thought, and disappointing that we've got another forfeit.
But even to be on the imagine being on the field and you're on the same team as Sean George and she's one-on-one with Jess Brooks. Imagine that at the Haven. Yeah. Imagine the crowd watching that. It's like the price of admission, mate. So that's obviously Terrigal winners 28-0 over Woi Woi. And the last game, the Battle of the North. Well, this was a feisty one. And Warrnambool running out winners over the Lakes, 31 points to 24. We did not see this coming. We thought it'd be a convincing victory for the Lakes. Warrnambool, it looked like from the team sheet they had a few reinforcements this week. It looked like April Radford was back, and there was a couple of maybe wildfires playing as well. So hopefully that continues for Warrnambool. And it's obviously that would lead them into good stead for the season. But they have been struggling, and I think Lakes, I thought, I'd be completely honest, I thought this was going to be a big victory for the Lakes, and Warrnambool, the Wildcats, got one up.
Well, it was the Wildcats' first win of the season. And it was an impressive one, 5 tries to 4 over the Lakes women who have been absolutely flying. As you alluded to, we've had some women coming back from the Newcastle competition. That's fantastic. Let's hopefully they're here to stay and make our competition a better competition. Hopefully it wasn't just a one-off. But Wildcat women getting the victory, 31 points to 24, 5 tries to 4, as I said, 3 conversions to 2. What a cracking affair! Played with plenty of passion too, Berner.
Yep, that's what we've heard, which has been good. That's what you want from your grudge matches as well. So hopefully the Wildcat women are around and Warrnambool continue to can put in performances like that, because Lakes were absolutely humming. So congratulations to the Wildcats. And that is our results of the round. Thanks to Gus, the team at Erina Podiatry. Gus, got any thoughts, mate? Yeah,
before you go,
Gus.
Nothing.
Cheers, mate. All right, well, on to the matches for this weekend. So we're up to round 7 this weekend. We'll start off with the women's first game. Warrnambool hosts the Sharkies of Avoca Beach at Wangara Sports Field. Who have you got here, mate?
Well, I guess depends on which Warrnambool women's side show up. If it's the Warrnambool women's side from last week, mate, what a game this is going to be.
Going to be huge.
Absolute cracker. The Avoca Beach side coming off the bye last week, so they've refreshed, and they will be absolutely charging, regardless of whether it's the best Warrnambool side possible. I think the Avoca Beach side will win. It'll just be a matter of the size of the victory. So anything other than Avoca Beach Sharks victory will be a complete surprise to me. I see a win by Avoca and a win by a fair bit. They got, as I said, well rested, ready to go, and head up there and rip in. How do you see it, Matt?
I see it exactly the same as you. I think it doesn't matter personally what side they're going to roll out Warrnambool for the moment. I think Avoca are just too good. They're just too good in the competition for the moment. I think they're going to have to wait until round 9, where they play against Terrigal. Is the first time they're going to be really tested in the competition. So for me, that's going to be Avoca for that one. The second game, Hornsby host the Razorbacks at Hornsby's second home ground of Walters Park, Bullaroo. Is that a stitch up? You're an hour and 20 from your home ground. Hour and 10 from your home ground. How do you see this one going, mate?
Well, Hornsby playing the Razorbacks, correct? The Nalas?
Nala's playing the Razorbacks.
So it's 2 weeks in a row they're going to play the Razorbacks. The big question here is, how much have the Razorbacks learnt? Opportunity. Real big opportunity. They're obviously competitive. 24/7 was last week's results. How are they going to go? I see no reason why the Hornsby women shouldn't win again. I think good opportunity for Razorbacks to get closer. But and I think probably a better opportunity for the Razorbacks to maintain a little bit of space on the ladder from the Hornsby women. But I'll tip the Nailers here.
Yeah, I'll tip the Nailers, mate. I'm just looking at this draw as well. Hornsby have got the rub of the green here. Listen to this. They're at home last week at Mark Taylor Oval. This week they're at home again at Bullaroo. Next week they're at home at Mark Taylor Oval. The week after that, Mark Taylor Oval again. The week after that, they're hosting at Gossett. They're at home at Gossett Rugby Field. They've got about 6 home games in a row, mate. They just got, obviously moving their home around just slightly. And last game there, mate, we have Woy Woy hosting Lakes at Woy Woy Oval. What have you got for this?
Lakes will win this match.
I have Lakes as well.
I think at Woy Woy, at least, hopefully we're a better chance of the Woy Woy women being able to play. So that's my first concern. Hopefully Woy Woy can field a side, but I see the Lakes women winning this match here.
I think, I don't have any background information on this at all, but if we are to the point where they're struggling for numbers every week, I think it's got to be some sort of thing of, look, we've only got 7 this week, or we've only got 8. So if it's got to be a forfeit, it's got to be a forfeit. But we're at the point where we've got to get them into the competition again and playing every weekend. And I'm sure Lakes have absolutely no problem as well with, putting 2 or 3 over and swapping over. If it's going to be a forfeit, it is. But getting that game of rugby, because you do set off a fair bit aside with your life to dedicate that Saturday to playing rugby as well. And you want to do
Absolutely.
that. So I think being at home, I think that there shouldn't be an issue with fielding a side. I think it's usually travelling that the girls are struggling with.
To draw a harsh line, burner, if it continues again, we remove them from the competition, rewrite the draw, and we get more women playing rugby. And we hopefully get those Woy Woy women to go somewhere where they'll get a regular game. Horrible thought and a nightmare for the administration to consider. Yeah. But, mate, we can't continue on in this format.
Yeah, well, just to put it, to paint a bit of a picture, Terrigal, with the bye on they had on the weekend, means they'll play 1 game in 4 weeks, just with the general bye and with those forfeits, etc. So, and you don't want that in a competition, when you're training every week for that as well. All right, that's the women. So again, Warrnambool hosting Avoca, Hornsby hosting the Razorbacks, and Woy Woy hosting the Lakes. Terrigal have the bye. On to the men's. Some cracking games this weekend, mate. We'll start off.
Some really good games.
Woy Woy hosting the Lakes at home.
Well, I think it's a good opportunity for the Woy Woy side to get a win here. Lakes haven't been travelling overly well, which we've spoken about. They're yet to win a game. They should beat the Woy Woy side, but as we said, Woy Woy is so unpredictable at the moment, so we just don't know. Going on your tip last week, if it's on a train line, they're going to be more competitive. So considering that Woy Woy has a station, I think it'll be a really good game, and it could be an opportunity for the Woy Woy Lions to get another victory here today, on Saturday. So I really don't want to tip against the Lakes, but I'm going to. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced how well they've been travelling. Obviously, really competitive last week against Warrnambool, who were no easy beats, and it's a bloody good showing, 24 points to 47, 4 tries to 7 last week. They should win. The Lakes should win this match. I'm not sure if they will.
Yeah, it's on a train line, so I'm going to go Woy Woy. 2 weeks ago, the team they rolled out, I know they were probably against a weaker opposition than what they were last week, obviously, but I think it'll be a very tough game, and I don't have faith, I'll be honest. I don't have faith in Lakes in tight games. They've just lost too many for me to, when it sort of gets to the crunch, I just have lost that faith a little bit. So I'm going to back Woy Woy there at home to get a win. Second game, Lake Macquarie hosting Hornsby. So Lake Macquarie had the bye last week, obviously coming off the back of a couple of tough losses, but they had a chance to regroup, and now they're at home, which is really good for them, and Hornsby have to travel. So what do you make of this, mate?
The Roos are back. They're fresh, and they're ready to go. What do I think? I think they're going to be every chance of winning this match. I think it's going to be they're primed and ready to go. What they've got to do is show up and score more points for 80 minutes, and they will beat the Hornsby side. You heard it here first, people. It's a game is as simple as that. If Lake Macquarie Roos can score more points than the Hornsby Lions, they will win this match. I'm very confident of that, Burner. How do you see it going?
Well done. Well done. Hornsby for me, mate. The next game, Terrigal hosting Gosford at the Haven.
Well, this will be a
This
bloody
is
good
Carl's
game,
chance to piss in Terrigal's pool, mate. We heard this.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Yeah, actually, as I said, I'm going to be there on Saturday. I'll touch on that a little bit later on. I might take a set of Depends out there instead of male incontinent nappies and make sure Carl plays in a pair of nappies.
Or at least a kiddies pool for him after the game or something.
A really good, another good chance for the Gosford side, the Red Devil side, to test themselves against another top team in the competition. Coming off very competitive and a tight match against the Razorbacks 2 weeks ago. Obviously, a disappointing performance against the Avoca Beach side last week. So they're going to be coming out firing and hurting from last week's performance. We heard it from Carl, which I think is fantastic for supporters of the Gosford side and actually supporters for the game on Saturday. I think it's going to be great. I don't see them beating Terrigal. I think Terrigal, as we've spoken about, they're just too rounded. They've got too many combinations. They're just so well drilled. I think they're a team that is building probably stronger than they have for a little while in their performances and their relentless 80-minute performances. I think they're on a heater at the moment. And I see a really tough day for the Red Devils at the Haven. Having said that, though, Gosford have got all the fire in their belly to cause an upset and cause a big upset. And that's what it will be. I don't think they will do it, but I also don't think it will be a walk in the park for the Trojans either.
Yeah, I think the Trojans for me in this one. I don't think I'm going to tip against them until maybe we get to, again, round 9 when they come up against Avoca. They're just too good at the moment. I just haven't seen that from, the loss on the weekend for me. Obviously, a big one in Gosford are completely hurting, but I think it's just too big of a hurdle to overcome. Terrigal at the Haven. It's just so hard. So Trojans for me, mate. And the last game of the weekend, this one is going to be an absolute cracker.
Can I just say it? It warms my heart when I hear you say a Trojan for me, Berner. But anyway, we'll tell you.
I tell you this all the time, but I'll tell the listeners. I know the Trojan song better than my own club song. I know the words of that one more. It gives me the shit. I don't know anyone else's song. Like I couldn't tell you anybody else the words. Like I've been flogged by Avoca many times. I don't know their song. I just know Terrigal's song. It gives me the shits every time. It just sends like some blood boil every time I sing it. Anyway,
fantastic. I don't think I've ever been happier doing this podcast than I am right now.
Warnervale hosting Avoca, mate, at Woongarra Sports Field number 1. This is going to be a cracker match of the round.
Yeah.
And I just think this is a great opportunity for Warnervale to. I think obviously Avoca, Terrigal, the two high flyers at the moment. Warnervale probably sitting there third for me. With Razorbacks, and I think this is the first chance for them to shake up the competition. They've got a real shot now. If they can beat Avoca this week, that sends shockwaves through the comp, and they're capable of doing it. They are at home. They've got everything going for them. They're a real sniff here, mate. What do you think?
Mate, I'm with you. I think it's going to be an absolute humdinger. Avoca Beach are undefeated, 5 wins from 5 matches, and the Wildcats, they're 5 wins from 4 matches. The only match they've lost is the Terrigal Trojans, and they're top of the table on 25 points. So I see this as I'm with you, an absolute humdinger. I think it's going to be a really, really good match. And I'll tell you what, I'm leaning towards the Wildcats here. I think they've got everything going for them. Come off a good victory in the Battle of the North. I think it's always difficult travelling up to Warnervale and Woongarra to play up there. I think they've got everything working in Warnervale's favour. So if there are any chance of knocking off the Avoca Beach side that are absolutely flying at the moment, it's this Saturday. So I might tip them for. Well, they mightn't see it as an upset. It might be a little bit of an upset, but they're certainly flying at the moment. I'm going to go Wildcats here.
Yeah, I'm 50-50. I think the fairy tale story is Warnervale at the moment, isn't it? Like you're happy that they're obviously going so well, but
my Wildcats, baby.
I think Avoca are going to get home in a close one. I think this is going to be a cracker of a match, and I reckon it's going to come down to the wire. And I think when you got players like Mitch McGrath there, I think,
Yeah.
obviously Briggs as well, I just think that might be the difference in the end to sort of see them home. Avoca have been phenomenal this year, as have Warnervale, but yeah, I think Avoca, just in the end, they just pip them for me. But cracking matchups this weekend. So Warnervale hosting Avoca, Terrigal hosting Gosford, Lake Macquarie hosting Hornsby, and Woy Woy hosting the Lakes. All right, Barthy, what do you got to round out the episode? Any good news? Any good news stories?
Yeah, mate. Look, I just want to touch on, I guess. Well, I think personally, I've probably shown my my Terrigal colours probably more in this episode than I have in the 4 years prior, and there's good reason for that. On Saturday, having its first Blue Day, Mouldy Day. We spoke about it on last year when Grant Mould passed away. I spoke about personally how why I had so much trouble. Sort of, I guess I was quite upset when I knew about it. And Mouldy was the guy that really he taught me how to love the game of rugby, and I have a love for that game that stems from his passion and the time I spent with him. And so we lost Grant last year after a battle with illness, and we're having his Memorial Day on Saturday, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. Bianca, his daughter, and Dylan, his son, they're going to be there. His wife Lisa will be there as well, and his father Jeff will be coming to the club, which is fantastic. Jeff coached us in the 90s, as did Grant did, and Grant single-handedly was responsible for making Terrigal into a competitive outfit in the 90s. His father then came on top, and we were lucky enough to win premierships and have a very successful period of time. But I know, personally speaking, Mouldy's legacy with me individually has been that love of the game, which I now have and I'll have forever, and that's thanks to him. But I think more importantly, Mouldy, Terrigal haven't been very good at all when it comes to old boys, and there's never been an old boys day at Terrigal. There's never been a back to Terrigal day or anything like that. It's been pretty well. Certainly in the 30 years I've been associated with the club, it hasn't really been a regular event. We've had the odd reunion here and there for premiership sides, but we've got Mouldy Day on Saturday. We've got the Blue Day, and it's. I think I'm really excited. This could be the legacy that Grant leaves the Terrigal side, and it's going to be good.
Well said, mate. That's awesome. I think, as well, a lot of people will be along to that day. You obviously meant a lot to the club, and obviously a lot to yourself. And everyone's got that person that sort of shows them around, rugby and gets them to love the game. So obviously Mouldy was that person for you, and that's absolutely awesome, mate. So huge weekend this weekend at the Haven for Mouldy. I know there'll be a lot of people there. Barthy will be there as well, so you can have a beer with Barthy. Barthy always loves to shout as well. He's not really someone who likes to take anyone from anyone.
I'll be the bloke with a pair of grown-up nappies.
The tissues and the grown-up nappies, mate. No, that was as well said, mate. So Mouldy Day on Saturday, huge occasion, and it'll be obviously awesome. Terrigal will do so many things that are amazing, and this is just another thing that they're going to add to it as well in honor of a great man. What you got? Anything else, mate? I know Dave Hall's 250th. We mentioned that last week, but another congratulations to Dave Hall. Again, referees don't know how they do it, but they do an awesome job.
Good on you, boys. We appreciate it. And girls, as we spoke about too. So get out there on Saturday, people. Support your club. Support this great game. Behave yourself too. I just want to very quickly, before we move on, I touched on the fact that I went up the New England competition over the weekend. And, mate, I have not enjoyed a game of rugby or a period of time that much in a long time. And it came down to I was watching a Rob College versus Tamworth match, and it was a good competitive game, and there was lots of cheering carrying on and good support. There's no shit. I loved it, absolutely loved it. Everyone was cheering their side. There was a red card here or there. There was no pushing and shoving and carrying on. The respect for the referees. It was such an energising time about how good our game is. I know we spoke about it when I was on the way home, Burner, but Get out there and enjoy the Saturday. Get out there and enjoy your rugby. But most importantly, get out there and respect the game, respect the officials, and respect your club and respect the game, because it's such a beautiful game. It's fantastic. And it's a great community we live in. So get out there, support your club, buy some red frogs, get a drink, and have a good time.
All right, we'll do this, guys. See you next week. See ya.